Hey, you, I'm talking to you just a little closer. See, I want to whisper to you about my next guest. He is a video videographer, a graphic design artist, and he has just finagled his way into a big limelight. But I cannot keep this a secret any longer. So I'm no gonna longer whisper to you, and I am going to bring on my next guest. His name is Anthony Capers, and I think I'm saying it incorrectly. It's Antony Capers. So please welcome my next door neighbor, Anthony. Woo!
How you guys doing out there? What's happening? What's
How
happening?
you doing? This is the coolest cat on the planet, guys.
Oh,
He's so relaxed.
yeah, it's a little too
And
much, you know.
yes. So, Mr. Capers, tell everybody who is Anthony Capers?
Your next door neighbor.
Yes, he is. There's more, but there's more there.
No, I'm a father. Definitely a father of one. You know, I got a 14-year-old boy. I'm an artist, as you mentioned. Actually, I consider myself more of like an artistpreneur. You know, because I dabble in a lot of different variations of art. I don't just do like, graphic design. I paint. You know, I do music. So I dabble in all forms of art. You know, so I consider myself more of like an artistpreneur. You know,
Okay.
for
And that is a good word for you because he created my logo. Does everybody see Domesticated Diva? That's his work.
uh,
Yay!
plug.
Yes, thank you. So if you need some work, I'll give you his number only if he says so. Okay. So I don't know how much work he needs. He doesn't look like he needs much because he's doing a whole bunch of stuff right now, guys. So you said you're a father, you're a videopreneur. I like that term for you. I really do.
Artistpreneur.
I like that term for you. So I'm gonna use that one. Now, let's go back to the video side of it. Not the video, the graphic artist side of it.
Mhm.
You have a background in graphic art?
I have a background in art, but then again, I don't know if I have a background in art. I think I was born into art. I got my first spanking when I was like 3 years old. Growing on I got caught growing on my grandmother's brass table. I remember that, and that was like my first spanking. And since then, I've kind of always been into art. I used to work for Marvel Comics in New York as a colorist, during my high school years. Yeah, I don't know. I just know art, and video is part of it. But
Now, is New York where you from?
born and raised Queens. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shout out to Queens. I have plenty of friends from New York. My sister-in-law is from New Rochelle, so I don't know how far that is from you, but yeah, she is from New Rochelle. It's close.
I want to say maybe 20, 30 minutes from where I was at, Rochdale
Okay.
area.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you went to okay, grandma beat you
Uh-huh.
for her brass table.
Yeah,
But is
well,
there any formal training that you had to go to be a graphic artist?
well, I graduated from Art and Design High School in Manhattan. That's like one of the biggest art high schools in the world or whatever. I graduated from there, and from there, I came to Florida for a little while and went to
Okay.
college out here and got a degree in associates in graphic design and a minor in video production. But
Okay.
I think when it comes down to like what we do as artists, as anything, when you have like a trade, even hairdressers, I think, I believe it's not the education you get. I think it's the experience you get. Because
Okay.
you could teach somebody, the color wheel and says purple goes here and yellow goes here and green goes here, but you can't teach somebody how to actually, deliver it. So to me, it's more about the experience as opposed to the educational part. Yes, it's good to like know your history if you want to know that, or really dive into that type of stuff, like the technical stuff. Yes, it's good to know from smart people, the technical, logical things that you don't know, but you
Right.
can't really teach what's God given.
And I think that it coming from an educational background, you are so true. The most gifted people, I don't want to say strange or weird. It's not, that's not it. It's just in them. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can teach you that what's in you. I am not creative whatsoever. I just talk a lot. So I'm trying to use that as a gift. And I don't know where it's going to land me, but I talk a lot. Everybody in the world who knows me says, yes, 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 girl, that's a gift. I say, I don't know it. It doesn't make me any money. So uh, let me just keep doing it because I like talking to people. I'm a very social person. I don't meet any strangers on the street, in a grocery store. I just don't. So when you say there are people in the world who are very just talented, that's you. They go into fine arts to get the job on paper because you need it.
Right.
But what happens after that is totally on you. It's totally on you.
You're right.
So I agree with you on that. So we're over the formalities, the special skills, and all of that. So how long have you worked in this field formally under somebody? How long have you worked in the field?
I've been in the art field professionally for about 20 years, I would say. I
Okay.
started out as a,
Old. How you gonna say 20 years? You're not even, you're a baby compared to me. What are you talking about 20 years?
you know how they say black don't crack, right? We tarnish, but we don't crack. Remember that. We tarnish a little bit, but we don't really crumble. But yeah, I started out as a graphic designer for a company called DigiQuest a long time ago, and I think that's the company that kind of ruined the idea of corporate America for me because I loved it so much. Like,
Okay.
like I was fresh out of New York and I was young. I was able to go to work as a graphic designer in corporate America with gold teeth in my mouth, braids, and like this is and still have a title and
Mhm.
still have a title. So I was there for 10 years, which then I led to from graphic artist went to 5 years later to the art director of the company, and I helped build that company with them. It was a tech company, so when you in your early 20s and this is your first entry into corporate America, you think you don't have to wear suits and ties and the artist, you don't have to do that. So, 10 years later, fast forward and you lose that position,
Uh-huh.
corporate America just does not fit with you at all. And
Okay.
since then, I've kind of been like, no, I don't like corporate America and I would do whatever I can not to be there, but I had to. We have to. Sometimes we have to. So,
Yeah. So we do have people chiming in, and there was a question, but I think you already answered it. He said, "Where did you go to college?" But you already answered it. And this is one of my former students. How you doing, Ani? I'm now telling my age.
I went to Tampa Tech, honey, out here. I graduated college out here with a minors in graphic design and an associates in video production.
Okay. All right. There you go, Ani. So
I don't even know if that school is around anymore, actually.
that here you go, dating yourself. But okay, so you the form in the formalities.
Okay.
You went to school 10 years. How do you somebody I walk into nah, I didn't ask you to do this. You did this on your own and I love it. But somebody who's a client walks in and says, "Hey, I want you to design something for me." What's the process? Do you just say go away and let me do it, or do you guys have a conversation?
It always starts with a conversation. It has to start with a conversation. And a lot of time in conversations, you can really talk to people and find out that they really don't know what they really want or they really know what they do want. And sometimes people really know what they want, but they have to see it on paper to find out that's not really what they want. So a lot of times, like with that logo, I talk to you. Sometimes I ask you, hey, what are your favorite colors? Let's talk about logo specifically. Like, what are your favorite colors? Are you looking for something that could be a stamp? Are you looking for something that could be red or just a symbol? What are you looking for? And then we take those ideas and, come up to the table. And from there, you get a domestic diva logo. You get a Grand Hampton logo, or you get, something simple.
There you go. Now listen, 10 years. You can't tell me all 10 years have just been smooth. So somebody walks in and says, "This is what I want," and you produce it. They don't like it. What feedback do you give them?
The thing about me is that I have like New York background, so like I'm a hustler, so I have that spirit of keeping it going. So
Yeah.
the feedback that I get back, especially because there's places like Fiverr out there where there's like a plethora of graphic designers out there who will take a job for cheap.
Okay.
The feedback that I get is I'm glad you're out here because you give designers a good name because I actually take the time to actually have the conversations where people are just going over emails. I'm like, no, hang on a second, let me call and find out what exactly is going on. So when
Okay.
it comes to a situation where a client doesn't like what I'm doing, they get one or two master changes. And then after the second master change, it's like, all right, well now you're just being nitpicky, and we have to up the bill, up the ante on that.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not a wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. I'll take the order. I'll get it done. I'll take the order. Have a conversation. You tell me to run with it, or you'll give me your ideas, and I'll run with it that way.
Okay. And has anybody just totally rejected it? Like just said no, scrap the whole thing? Has anybody ever gone off and just said scrap the whole thing on you?
There was a situation. There was a situation, and it was a financial situation as opposed to an actual project situation, because it was a project that I had developed called Kids Fantasy Art. This was after I got out of corporate America, kind of after the 10 years of TQS. I decided to go freelance and be on my own, so I started a company called Kids Fantasy Art. It's trademarked also, and
Okay.
that's where I take kids and put them in their own little fantasy world and stuff with photography and art, right? So we were supposed to have a setup in the mall. We was going to have a setup in the mall, a kiosk to where people could come and get their kids taken and their kids picture taking, and I would show them this beautiful piece of art that they can have. They almost be
Right.
heirloom pieces. So the week when we were going to actually sign the papers to get the mall thing set up, the financial guy backed out and was like, "No, we can't do it." So
Uh,
I never had a situation where the project itself was design wise or my problem wise.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've had a situation where someone backed out, and that's a big shock to the EO.
Now, so people can find your work on anthonycapers.com, right?
No H, Antony, no H.
Right, Anthony. It's just the way I have it spelled up here at the top, guys. Scrolling across, Anthony Capers, no H.com. And he has some great work on there. I hope you go and check it out. He really is good. So if you're looking for, I'm going to put that plug in there because this is my show. If you're looking for a graphic artist, please go to his website, reach out to him, email him, anthonycapers at gmail.com. I'm putting that in there for me so people can reach you. And really, I mean, your logo is your brand. So if you need a quality logo, you need people to be able to recognize you. You need to go to somebody professional who knows what they're doing. And I've seen his work. And not just that he's a graphic design artist. The man is painting. He paints stuff, and in his garage, he has this huge painting of New York. So if anybody's in the making, or you're in the field right now, and you want a picture of New York, call him because it's pretty. It's a nice painting, and it's just in his garage, and it needs to get out because every time I drive by, I think I'm in New York or somewhere. So just reach out to him on Anthony Capers at Gmail. Anthony.capers@gmail.com, and y'all can negotiate a price. If you any New Yorkers out there, it's a very, very nice painting. And if you need some other work for your house, I have a cousin from New York right now that I just realized that I met at work last year for the first time, and she's from New York, and everything in her office is New York, honey. I'm from New York. I said, okay, calm down. We know about New York. Now, so, before we go into the filmmaking,
mm-hmm.
Florida versus New York.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you expect?
What's even there to say? Like, can you see? What's even there to say? Can you see? I'm sitting in New York right now with the New York hat on. Can you see? Can you see? And
really,
people say this is like Yankees, but to me that just says New York. Like, I'm not a sports guy or anything like that. I just, you know what it is. I just learned so much there. Like, the impressionative years. Like, when you grow up, that's just. I just spent so much there, but I don't know. It's kind of hard, but yeah, I love New York. I love Florida too. Love New York. If I had to pick and choose, it'd be a heavy one. Like, if I could pick my son up and just take him over here, with the
Uh, guys,
right
when we're done, we're gonna see if we're gonna keep him in Florida, okay? Because you know I was born and raised. I'm a Florida girl. Well, ooh, I take that back. I was born in Michigan, but that was only due to my dad being in the military. But I'm a Florida girl, okay? There you go.
I'm supposed to say Florida. Let's rewind. You know what I'm saying? I retract that statement, Your Honor. You know? Yeah. Well, let's just
Um,
say Florida has a special place in my heart.
Okay, thank you very much for cleaning that up. Okay.
Uh,
All right, guys, he's not just my next door neighbor. I really got to know him by my husband coming home one day and say, "Hey, the neighbor wants to know if you want to be in a movie." I was like, I looked at my husband. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I said on TV, okay? I'm like, tell him we ain't them kind of peoples, okay? And he was like, "What?" I said, "Tell him my days of those are gone. The body ain't right no more." So he was like, "Girl, stop acting crazy." So he said, "No, he has this opportunity that he's creating these short films, and he wanted to be in it." I said, "Is that what he was doing that day I came home and he's dressed in like a zombie outfit or something?" I was like, he's really weird, Henry. I told him he's in a zombie outfit. I said, Comic-Con is not this weekend. What does he got going on? I said, go find out what he's doing. And that's what he came back home with you wanting to make films. And I'm so excited I got involved with you because it has just taken off and it's landing you to where you are right now. So before I get started and say it wrong, my neighbor has a this beautiful video camera that I've never seen before, the likes of, and he just came up with an idea. Tell him about your idea, and he's wearing it. The title is on his shirt.
The title of the shirt is actually the title of the community that me and my neighbor live in. That's the craziest part about it, right? You know, I mean, I don't know. I think the idea probably came maybe 10, 15 years ago. The idea came. It didn't come being in this community, but what came from being in this community is COVID. And when COVID came in this community, people were closed off. They weren't coming out. They weren't doing anything. And people like myself, as freelance designers, we had to stay current. We had to keep our portfolios updated. We had to constantly stay active in order to stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So, I decided one day to take my nice camera, like she's saying, outside in the fields of Grand Hampton with my son and just film an idea, just update my portfolio to show people that, I actually exist and I could, edit and I could film and stuff. Nothing special, just to update my portfolio, right? So
Right.
I filmed it. And people around the community saw me out there like, "Hey, what are you doing? What's going on the Grand Hampton socials?" There's like 1,400 members on there or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
they're wondering what the hell I'm doing out there in their community with these cameras, right? So, at the end of the day, I edit it and I give them a little 45-second clip of what I did. I didn't think anything of it. I'm just saying, "Hey, nosy people, look, this is what I did," right? And they're all like, "Oh man, that was cool. That was great. We need to see more." So I'm still updating my portfolio. So in my head, I knew how it was going to end. So we went out there the next week and we filmed the second episode, which ended up being 1 minute and 10 seconds, I believe. And then the community on the socials was like, "Oh my gosh, now you have an audience. You need more." So I had this idea about 10, 15 years ago about a community full of witness protection people. I
Okay.
couldn't film it, didn't have equipment, didn't know people or anything like that, right? I just had the idea, and Hollywood's not knocking on my door, no money or anything like that. So COVID's coming, what am I doing? Updating my portfolio, and I have an audience now is what the Grand Hampton people say. So by the time the third episode comes out, I reach out to the community. I said, "Hey guys, I have an idea for like this Hollywood story that could be crazy cool, that if anybody wants to be involved, we could do it here in the community." And I started getting DMs like, "Hey, I want to be a part of it." And by episode 4, we had extra cameramen. We had a golf cart being able to get crazy. You know? I had a doctor signed on. I had news reporters signed on. And it wasn't even about that. What it was, the coolest thing about it was when it first started. Everything started outside. If you ever look at the show, all the first episodes were outside because of COVID. So we were all conscious about that, not being indoors. And then as the show progresses, you'll start seeing relationships build to where it's like I'm touching little babies, like we're inside of people's houses. And
Yeah.
I think the best part about it is that people that are part of the show, if you look at it, their episode, most likely their kids are in that episode. So it's like a memory that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Yes.
And to me,
And I can honestly tell you that when you say you're shooting these episodes and you building a community, people just started saying, yes, I want to be in the show. Yes, I want to be in the show. And my family, my entire family has cameoed. Even the grandbaby, my two daughters have their own episode. My husband has, oh my God, the big head. And he's been in a few episodes. I've been in a couple. But the biggest thing is, if you haven't seen this, and I wanted to interrupt him to say this, I have in the description box, I've linked both seasons 1 and 2 in the description box, so you can go binge watch them. Okay, the longest one may be 6 minutes, so you can't complain that you don't have time. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, that's season 2. I'm sorry.
it's 10 minutes.
But still, they watch longer shows. This is a young up and coming artist. So, and I'm in it. So you need to watch it and don't laugh. Any of my friends who see this, I don't want to hear anything about it. Okay. Okay.
Here's the thing, like Latasha, like the crazy thing is, like, we're doing this as none of us are actors, right? None of us are actresses. None of us are doing this by trade. I'm just a guy with a camera that likes to talk to people like you do, and believe that it takes a nation to like raise a village, and that's where I'm from. So like seeing my neighbors inside their house in a community like this, let's get out. But dude, we're doing this with no budget. Nobody's getting paid, money off of it. I'm not asking anybody for anything other than a little bit of your time. And give me a little bit of your time, we can actually build something that's never been done before. To the point where, HOA is like, wait, can we do this? Is this allowed? Like, wait, hang on, it's like, what's going on?
And I'm gonna reiterate and expound upon that again. Nobody's getting paid. We did this on our own free will. We wanted to help this young man, and it was all races on there, all ages on there, and we just made 2 seasons of what I think is some great filming.
Yeah, I mean, we got ages. How old was Nine when she was in? What?
About 9 months.
7 months, 9 months. So we got 9 months to 60. Age 9 months to 60. So we definitely, and we do, like you say, we have every race. We have Spanish speakers in there with like subtitles in an episode. So it's really cool because a lot of times at first when I talk to people, I'm like, hey man, I'm doing this thing and I think you'll fit perfect. And they're like, well, that's not really my thing. And the next thing you know, I say, oh, well, I don't want anything. I'm not asking you for anything, just a little bit of your time. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe. And then they see it, and it's like, all right, cool.
Right. And so, and they didn't, and you can use that for something if they really wanted to go into it. Some of these actors are really good. I can say, I'm not picking on us adults, but the kids that you have cast are really good. The kids, and I think kids are just natural actors and actresses. Mm-hmm. They have, whenever they were in here, they made the show. And I'm not just talking about the kids that are 6 or 7 years old, although the Mulrose kids are really adorable. But even the teenage kids,
right?
They really came out on their own and was really acting. So guys, you must check this out. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go searching for it on YouTube because I already linked it down here in the description box, both seasons for you. So I really, really want you to check it out. Hey, just have a 20-minute binge fest watch with your friends, the family and friends. It's well worth it to watch this upcoming star because I'm sure he's young. You're going to see him again. You're going to see him again, and you're going to say, oh, that crazy lady told me so.
Yeah, hopefully October they're going to see us. You know what I mean? That's what they really need to see us up in that Tampa Bay.
All right, so I'm leading there. I'm going there. So next, this little thing, you talk. He's a talker, guys. He's a talker. And he's talked his way into what?
I'm really not a talker, though. I feel like I speak when spoken to. I think, right?
Really?
Unless I have a question to ask.
I'm turning a side eye. Really?
Dude, you're my neighbor. I gotta talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I never know when I would need to borrow an egg or something like that. Come on.
But you did not get the Tampa Theater by talking to me. So let's talk about your next move. Your next move, guys. He's taking this. Okay, let me start off by prefacing this. He has now taken the Grand Hampton to a movie, an hour-long movie. So season 2 was cut short a little bit abruptly because he needed to start working on this project. And this project was written with a certain young lady
In mind.
who had to go and have back surgery the day before shooting started, and I could not be in this movie. So I don't even want to see the movie now because I've just heard, I don't know who was casted by, who is the new cast of me, and I just don't want to see it, but I'm going to support him. He's the only reason that I'm going to watch it now. But so, and I've seen you on, just before we even get into the movie, I've seen you working at the Tampa Theater with little kids. What are you doing?
So, all right. So what happened was because of the Grand Hampton and the community thing, right? It's starting to get word that this guy is good in the community, and because of that, people actually want to help out. So, like the city giving me a plaque for the community work. You know, the councilman Vieira coming down and supporting. Well, Tampa Theater, you know, they have this thing where they're looking for local talent and local artists that in the film industry that are trying to do things in the community. Got
Okay.
into this, and we had meetings. We had a couple of meetings, and they thought what I was doing in the community was so cool, and they wanted to figure out a way to feature the Grand Hampton series and the Tampa Theater together. And within our talks of filming a movie with the Tampa Theater, there was talks about they have a summer film school, and they
Okay.
were talking about having me come down, you know, over the summer, a couple of days a week or whatever, and actually talk to the young kids about filming and doing exactly what it is I'm doing, taking everything that's around you and putting them to use. You know,
Wow. Because I've seen him on Facebook. I said, what is he doing with the kids now? What is he doing? And so, that's just how I have a feeling you are going to take off. And when you do, just remember the little people down here that got you started, okay, for free of charge. All right. And I'm really not even asking for money. I just want a shout out or two. Okay. That's it. All right. So,
gosh, we're all the same. It's no little people. It's just people that think a little.
So what happens now, guys? He's about to blow up. I want you to talk about it. I'm not going to take any of your thunder. This is your time. So let's talk about the Tampa Theater Project. What's going on?
Well, you got to take some of the thunder because when I talk about the Tampa Theater, I can't talk about it as like it's a my project. It's a we project because to me, Grand Hampton has always been a we project because nobody's getting paid, nobody's paying me for it. It's something that we're all doing together. I just happen to do all the work, you know, outside of the acting. So it's a we thing. So what we're doing, is we're actually writing season 3, which is totally different than season 1 and season 2. And the first episode of season 3 will premiere at the Tampa Theater in October as a 45 to an hour long episode. And that's how we're going to do every episode from here on out, assuming the ball keeps rolling the way it's going. And I'm super excited because I get to. Oh, there's claps. Hello. I didn't know I was in the studio audience. All right.
That was good. That was good.
Feeling very Martin Lawrence right now. Gina.
So so season 3 is going to be an hour to 45 minutes. I mean,
No,
45
minutes to an hour. Yeah, we're still in the filming of it, and it should be ready by October because we have a deadline to get it prepared. Because the Tampa Bay Theater, they have a Halloween week and month or whatever that they do, and they want to air it there throughout the whole time, which is great. So we be prepared for date night because the episode name is called Date Night. Okay. And what it is no longer following. If you do watch the show,
I know.
It's not following my son and me anymore. Still Grand Hampton is still Grand Hampton though. Don't get it twisted. Grand Hampton is still Grand Hampton. It's still the Connected. There's still Witness Protected. There's still the Doctor. There's still the Henry. There's still the Nicole. There's still your character when you come back. Grand Hampton is still Grand Hampton. We're just telling a different story because if you think about a neighborhood full of witness protection, there's 1,400 houses here, right?
Right.
Every house has a different story to tell. So if I'm able to do it right, and I could tell 1,400 different stories.
So you're trying to do a Stranger Things, huh?
I just think about longevity. I think about longevity, and I think longevity is key when you're trying to have something that's, where you want to get that cult following. And
Okay.
at the moment, I'm still not asking for anything, still not looking for anything, and I think that's why it's working. But what I will say is, though, I think with this one that we're doing right now, to where I'm actually spending money to make the movie. Before, I'm just using my equipment and things like that, what's around me. But now we're actually outsourcing stuff. I feel with this one and all the hard work, this could be our entryway into, like, the festivals, like the Sundance festivals, the film festivals, and
Absolutely.
stuff
Absolutely.
like that. Especially all the work, like you had like a month and some change with your script. Unfortunately, I wish you could have, kept going. But the Nicole and the people that are on the set, the Prescotts, they've had like 2 months and more. So I feel like the hard work that they put in, it should be rewarded. And then the lady that came in, oh man, Karan, and like save your place, dude, came in at the clutch like a week before filming. She had to learn like one of the most biggest characters of the show. Where you've had it for like a month and a half already, and she had a week.
Oh,
You know,
well, congratulations and kudos to her. And you tell her I'm going to be watching to see if she nailed it.
but, at one point, like I knew I had a deadline. I didn't want to lose the Tampa Theater thing. I was ready to just take anybody just to get it done because
I know.
all we are, we're nobody's actors. It's just, can you take
Right.
that action and can you do? But she came by the grace of God from a theater background. She's a theater, she has stuff. So it's like, and on top of that, she had time because
Okay.
you can say you want to do it, right, and then get the script and see, wow, this is like a 45-minute movie. I got a lot of dialogue, and I got.
I was ready. If I had not had this back thing going on, I would have been ready. Trust me, I would have been ready because I read that script and you were right. It was written for me.
So,
Little angry black girl.
I had somebody else. I had somebody else after you in the community who wanted to do it. I gave her the script, and time kept going, and then it kept going, and then she backed out, and I was like, oh man,
No,
yeah, I
no.
want to do it. So now this lady Karan, she has like now only 5 days pretty much to like learn lines and rehearse. So kudos to her.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want us to be on the lookout. This man is an up and coming star. I know it. I feel it. And it's all because he's putting his passion into play. And this is what I want to say to a lot of people. A lot of people think they don't have talents. Find that one thing, and some people have multiple talents, but find that one thing that you are really passionate about and go for it. Now, if it's hurting people, forget about that because none of our passion should be involved in hurting people. But as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, I need us to run with it. And especially young kids today, they don't, you know what their problem is? They don't visualize anything anymore.
You know,
They don't visualize. So, and we don't really teach that. We teach them to read without visualizing. And I don't mean like showing a video. The kids don't use their imaginations.
why should
They don't
it's
use
there
their
for them? It's out there for them already to see it. Like you got to think, man. We came from encyclopedia days where we had to go research and look at the stuff. Like we came from the days when the kids actually had to come to the parents and ask them questions. By the time the kid comes to the parent, they already got the answer. They probably just want to see if the mom or dad's smart enough to see, what's going on. But like they already know, and us as parents, sometimes we think they're stupid or we're like, oh, they're not grasping it. But really, by the time they get to third grade, they're getting a tablet. You're already sending your kid to school with a phone at the age of 8. Like, are you serious? Like, so it's not like they're not visualizing it. They don't have to. What they need to do is visualize after that. Because once they see it, what's the next thing that comes after that? Because you're being hand fed everything. Now, how are you gonna like process? Can your body handle all of that shit they're giving you?
yeah, yeah. Teachers, you hear that? He said we can't no longer say just visualize it. We got to think beyond the visualization because they already have it. And you're right, cell phones and the internet has really just made everything accessible. Too accessible sometimes, but we just got to find a happy balance. Even kids need to balance. We can't do everything in the technological world 100% of the time. We cannot because that's the problem with not having any social skills. And there are a lot of people without social skills.
No, but
Wow.
what though? A lot of people also say they can't do it, and that's when you tell them, like, have you ever heard of YouTube? Like, there's never a kid nowadays where you say that they can't because it's out
Everything is there.
there.
Everything is there.
Like, you could build a car, you could do anything. It's there. All you gotta do is do. Oh, holy shit! It's right there.
Yes. And people are out there, and the weirdest things, people are out there showing you how to do the weirdest things, the smallest things. I could go on YouTube and find anything. I mean, anything.
That's no media.
Yep. So it is the new encyclopedia. So guys, I am just so thrilled to is before we go, is there anything that you want to tell, not just the young, the old? There might be somebody who's my age who I'll be 50 tomorrow, who will say, I'm getting in this later in life and I want to try it out. What do you say? What do you say to the people who want to go for what you're doing?
I say Colonel Sanders didn't get his first KFC till he was what 60, right? So it don't matter what age you are, you just keep going and do it, right? I think never put passion ahead of principle, right? You gotta have principles for what you're doing, no matter if you're passionate about it. You still gotta have some sort of inner substance. You can't just be putting shit out there with no inner, because then it just looks ugly outward.
You know something on TikTok that everything now belongs on TikTok. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep
going. You know why? Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's almost like some of the stuff that I think is art would sell. Somebody would look at that and be like, "Dude, why would you even paint that when I could just spit on it and go like that and sell it in a museum?" So that's what I would say. Just keep at it, keep going, and put good out, and good will come back. And always do stuff because you want to do it, not because you want something back. Because then you're just looking for problems. Not that way. It don't work that way, man. Like, I don't know, man. You start doing shit because you want something back, then it's like, all right, you did it, but like, do you really get what you really want out of doing something for somebody? Yeah.
Yep. So, and I'm glad you said this, because when I talk to you, he's not just this young guy. He actually has knowledge up there. Sometimes he says some stuff and I be going like, really?
Oh yeah, I'm an artist. Like I know my role. Like I know my place in the kitchen. Like I love art culinary. That's cooking, so I love to cook because that's artsy. You know what I'm saying? I know my place. Like I'm not mathy. I'm not like I don't read unless it's picture books and things like that. Like I know my place from a little kid. I got spanked at 3, and ever since then, like I know my lane. My lane is art. So sometimes my conversations could be crazy out there. My mind could be out there, but I have knowledge of self and awareness because I was raised by some strong Black women. You get it?
Okay. Listen, he says he artsy. He really is artsy because he is not sportsy. He's not athletic.
Whoa, athletic. Look at this, yo. This comes from.
I'm not talking about his build. I'm talking about he does not care about football. Okay, he does not.
No. I care about the social events around it. So call me Super Bowl, call me All-Star Game for the parties. I'll come social and root for the other team just so that there could be some sort of dialogue.
Hi, Miss Prince. I'm so happy to see you, Miss Prince, because he was talking about hairstylists when we first came on, and you are a hairstylist, how you guys are just creative in the art form in itself. So kudos to my hairstylist that is watching right now, and you guys share something in common, which is being very creative. You're very artistic and not autistic, artistic. And so I just want people to know that what he said is just share. If you have a passion, go for it and just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. This is all I have for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Latasha Scurry, your domesticated diva, with Mr. Anthony Capers. You can find him at Anthony with no H .Capers.
Hey, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong.
No, it's anthony.capers@gmail.com, right?
It's Anthony at anthonycapers.com.
Oh, really? I got it wrong. I'm so sorry.
You got Tony.Capers.
Oh, that's right. It's Tony.Capers. I just emailed you at Tony.Capers. Sorry. So that's why he should tell his own story. All right.
But hey, you out there keep doing them hairs because we create what's hot. It's like art is everywhere, man. It's even in the hair. So creating.
All right. Hey, I'll see you later, sir. Thank you for coming on.
Knock on your door and see what's for dinner. I'm coming over.
Oh, bye.
Right? That's how you end the show, right? Just get up. I'm out.
Yes, bye. See you later.